Hello everyone, I'm Aakash from Microsoft. I'm part of the System Center product group, which manages operations managers, the DPA, BMM, and all of it. But I look into operations manager and service manager. It's been a really interesting journey. I've been in Microsoft for about 10 plus years now, a decade, and worked across various roles and been associated with System Center for about a year and a half now. And I've mostly interacted with most of you over emails or over user voice or over a phone call. Like if you're a SCOM customer who's in touch with Microsoft product group, right? And I really appreciate all the feedback that has been shared across various forums, and we continue to look into all those forums and appreciate all your inputs, right? Having said that, we've got a very interesting session today, and I would like to want to go ahead and take a look, run you through some of the things that I want to go ahead and talk about. And what we have in our agenda today is, just a moment. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and talk about what our team looks like, the product group, what update do we have from SCOM as well as from management pack, and of course the big exciting piece of today's session would be the M365 management pack, which we've been developing in-house over a period of 6 months now, and I hope you guys would be able to take a look into it and share your feedback over the comments. And of course, we have a session post. We have a Q&A session post this presentation, and I hope to hear some of the feedback from there as well. Right. Having said that, let me go ahead and quickly take you through our team. The System Center team is headed by Prasad, and as I mentioned, the overall System Center suite is part of falls under Prasad. And we've got Pradeep, who's from the engineering dev team. So we work with the dev team to go ahead and deliver updates and features and on all the possible work that we can bring inside the products, right? We have Himanshu, Bhavna, and Ankur along with me who look into operations manager, and we have all our own specific facets of operations managers that we look into, right? Having said that, let me go ahead and talk to you what we have as part of the operations manager update. As we all know that we have a current SCOM 2019 version, and then we also have 2016 version, which is the legacy product amongst the previous old versions. 2016 has support until 2022, and at the same time 2019 is under mainstream support and will continue. We continue to service 2019 for about 5 years from its release date, and we plan to bring in update rollups with really fundamental features and user experience enhancements with the help of update rollups. The previous update rollup, as we may have come across, it was released in March, end of March, update rollup 3, and we are looking into how to release the next update as well as the next version of Operations Manager. Well, this is going to be the sweet news for some people who have who feel that Operations Manager is is not more, is irrelevant, is going to die soon. No, we have plans for the next version of System Center, all the products of System Center, including Service Manager and Operations Manager. We are looking into delivering System Center 2022 in the year 2022. As you may have heard that the Windows operating system is going to be released soon. So few months down the line of operating system 2022, we will be releasing System Center Suite as well, right? And we really look forward to continued passion and interest towards Operations Manager and various other System Center Suite products, right? Having said that, we will continue to service 2016 and 2019. 2016 will be a very, what do you say, it would be on best efforts, and we would go ahead and fix very vulnerable and security fixes and a must-have, bugs that needs to be fixed in 2016, and that would be more on a hotfix basis. 2019, we will continue to service in terms of update rollups. So you will see UR4 probably end of this year or a little later, right? That's about the product update. And what we brought about in update rollup 3 is that we brought in change tracking, which was a considerable important feature that was rolled into update rollup 2, and we wanted to go ahead and make it a wholesome change tracking. So we've gone ahead and introduced change tracking for agent, change tracking for monitor health resets, right? And we also brought in some of the changes on how the data is stored in the backend, right? We go ahead and synchronize the data from database to data warehouse. We can go ahead and change the grooming duration setting in the change tracking, right? We've also gonna go ahead and introduce a few web console related changes, though it may look very minute, but it has a lot of impact, and you can go ahead and use those enhancements. Those enhancements are sorting and grouping on some of the parameters which were not available in alert or in the alerts widgets, right? We've also looked into one of the most important and troublesome issue in 2019, because we went ahead and made few changes with regards to how alerts are handled in the backend. So because of that, there was a repercussion of having orphan alerts. So we've gone ahead and resolved that, and hopefully you should not be able to see it. And in case you still do see orphan alerts with update rollup 3, I would definitely request you to get back to us either through support tickets or write an email to us in the link which we provide at a later point in time. We've added support for Rel 6 in cross-platform agent. We've fixed a lot of bugs which was reported by you folks, and of course we've disabled SSL renegotiation in OMI. Right? These were some of the key updates in update rollup 3. Now, as part of our continued efforts in improving the product, we realized that management pack was something which was kind of taking a backseat up till now. And as we all know, management packs are the most core platform of a core pillar of operations manager. Having said that, we went ahead and reached out to you on multiple forums, be it through our Microsoft community like PFEs and consultants. We reached out through user voice, we reached out to multiple customers, and we got a very good insights on what are the top downloaded MPs with high service cost, right? Whoever is opening support tickets, like which MPs are the most troublesome, rather, which MPs have functional gaps, right? When I say functional gap, the product which we are monitoring may have made progress leaps and bounds, but the MPs have not caught up with it, right? And of course, workloads which are very popularly used, but we do not have a means to monitor it, right? Because there's no management pack, right? So these are some of the data that we've collected, and again, we wanted to prioritize which MPs we go ahead and renew or reinvigorate or create or develop an MP, right? Some of the feedback that we have heard was very, I would say, pinching. But of course, at the same time, we need to be true to ourselves and make sure that we hear you guys out, right? So Windows, SQL, Active Directory, most used and most downloaded. Most tickets are raised for SQL, and of course the M365 and Azure. Functional gaps, a lot of people still asking for Exchange on-prem for the latest version support 2016 and 2019. Hyper-V, we've gone ahead and released latest version, but it has a lot of gap in it. And of course, workloads there was no way to monitor Teams and Azure Really Sync, and we have heard you folks. Some of the investigation that is still in progress is, which MP do we go ahead and give high priority for developing? Be it, is it certificate monitoring, container, dynamic, Dynamics 365 or Azure AD Sync. We really look forward to hearing which MP amongst these are highly important for product group to go ahead and develop an MP for it. We look forward to hearing your feedback on the comment section or in the Q&A, right? We want to prioritize which one has more outreach, so we'll look to hear your comments. Okay. Having said that, we've gone ahead and made a lot of releases and of course fixes on management packs over the past 1 year for the financial year 2021, July to June 2021, that is. We've gone ahead and taken a new approach of versioning management packs. Up until now, we had a lot of management packs for a single workload. For example, Windows operating system workload had management pack for 2016, had another management pack for 2012, and who knows, there would have been a management pack for 2019 as well. So what we've gone ahead and done is we've gone ahead and released management packs which will work across multiple versions of the workload, monitor multiple workloads, and also work across multiple versions of different versions of Operations Manager, be 2016, 2019, or the upcoming 2022. Right? So we are releasing version agnostic management packs. Right? So up until now, we have gone ahead and released ADCS, RMS, DPM, DNS, and Storage Spaces Direct. Right? We plan to go ahead and bring in the same concept for a few more. Like we'll talk about which updates in the next slide. Along with the version agnostic, we have also serviced some of the MPs and released them with bug fix and all of them. There will be file services, cluster MP, Guard Fabric, Azure MP, and all of them. Okay. Now, if you guys need more updates on the links on where these MPs are and what is the version number, when was it released, there's a link down below. We'll be sharing this, link on the chat window at a later point as well. Okay. Now, what are the planned updates that we can see in the upcoming semesters as well as in the upcoming year, right? Of course, one of the biggest things is Office 365 Management Pack, which we'll be talking about in the next couple of minutes. Azure Stack HCI. Azure Stack HCI has been adopted extensively by big customers where they want to go ahead and make use of hyper-converged data center, hyper-converged infrastructure, and we want to go ahead and monitor them, right? So how do we go ahead and monitor with the help of SCOM? We'll be releasing management pack a little later this year, probably a couple of months down the line, and of course we have Windows Server 2022 releasing, so the management packs would be available for them as well, right? Like the base OS, Active Directory, and all of it, IIS, and all of it. We'll continue to invest on the version agnostic management packs, which is ADFS, Guard Fabric, Messaging Queue, RS, and all of them. We look forward to hearing your views on the approach of version agnostic. Do you think it makes sense? Is there any other MP that needs to be released as version agnostic? Right. Amongst the tool set, there were quite a few MP tools which have been deprecated, but we plan to go ahead and slowly look into it. And of course, we have so many partners who are working on MP development, like be it Squared Up or be it Silect and all of them. Nice. We really appreciate that, and we'll see if we really need to go ahead and invest in creating new tools for management packs, right? Having said that, we released we brought back Workflow Analyzer, as it was almost a 10-year-old product which did not work with the latest version of SCOM. It's out there in RTM version or in a GA right now. We continue to invest in bridging the functional gap for Hyper-V and Exchange MP. Again, that's part of our MP investment. We also want to see how outsourcing of management pack and management pack tools would go about. We want to see, we have a very well-established SCOM community, right? MVPs, customers, community folks, our internal PFEs and consultants and partners. We want to see how we can allow these folks who are working in MP ecosystem will be able to manage and of course develop and also service management packs or tools in the form of open sourcing. Right. Look forward to hearing your feedback on the thoughts on open sourcing management packs. We have that and we have a plan in place, but we want to hear your thoughts on this. Right. Having said that, I want to go ahead and talk about what we have in the very next upcoming management packs, which is Microsoft 365 Management Pack. Again, we heard you folks, been talking about the current version of Management Pack not being sufficient and being troublesome. It creates a lot of noise because the message center goes and creates a warning in the M365 admin center, but then you will see a lot of alerts created in the management pack, or sometimes none, right? And of course, what can you do with those message center alerts? You need to be able to go ahead and proactively monitor M365. So we've gone ahead and brought in the approach of using watcher nodes. Supposing you have a operations manager with about 100 agents, and these agents are are sprayed across globe. You can probably pick and choose which agent and make that agent as a watcher node, right? And how do we make a watch node? That process is pretty seamless. We'll be running through that process in a couple of minutes. And these watch nodes will go ahead and trigger synthetic transactions for Exchange, SharePoint, and Teams. Basically, OneDrive is part of SharePoint. It's the same URL. The concept, everything is same. So we've gone ahead and used only for SharePoint for now. If OneDrive is required, we'll go ahead and expand the horizon of the management pack. The presentation layer, we've gone ahead and taken a new look, and we brought in H5 dashboards with location tagging, which is pretty interesting, and I'll show that to you in a demo. The transactions, synthetic transactions, the authentication, everything is done with the help of Graph API. We're moving away from our traditional Office 365 API. Hybrid monitoring, again, we have mail flows running from Exchange on-prem to Exchange online, and then we have network and license monitoring. License monitoring is, again, it does not fall under the core M365 monitoring, but license is pretty much needed. License monitoring is pretty much needed to understand where the organization is standing in front of license consumption and availability. Okay, having said that, I will go ahead and switch over to demo, and let's see where we are. I hope the demo works. Usually, whenever we want to go ahead and demo, you know how it works out. So this is my typical SCOM environment. I hope you're able to see the screen, and let me minimize it. Yeah. So before we go ahead and start, pretty straightforward. You go ahead and bring up the SCOM console and you go ahead and import a management pack. In my case, the management pack is already imported, and the management pack has a couple of things inside it. One is the H5 MP files, and the other one is the core engine management pack file, right? Once you go ahead and import it, a new section would be created on the left hand side, Microsoft 365, and then here we have brought in a new change. Up until now, we could add only a subscription. Now you can go ahead and add a subscription, add a watcher node right through on the screen, right? Add subscription remains the same, where you go ahead and add a subscription, and it creates an Azure Service Principal name in the backend. Of course, we have looked into how credentials can be reused. I would not say reused. I would say it's different set at the end of the day. SCOM admins are different to Microsoft 365 admins, so we need to make sure that the credentials are not compromised. So when you guys go ahead and take a look into the management pack guide, you will understand that problem of having siloed personas is taken care of. Right. Having said that, once the subscription is added, you can go ahead and add a watcher node. Again, watcher node can be added on an existing agent only. We make use of the communication layer which is established between management server and an agent. Unfortunately, I do not have an agent that I can showcase. However, I'll show you how the new wizard would look like in case this was the server which I would want to go ahead and set up. Once I go ahead and pick the agent, I go ahead and pick the subscription to monitor. You can go ahead and add multiple subscriptions that you can monitor. But as of now, we have one-to-one mapping. That is, a one watcher node can go ahead and monitor one subscription only. Right? So I click on next, and then I can go ahead and choose whether I want to go ahead and monitor Exchange Hybrid or just the online version of Exchange. And also we monitor Teams network assessment. Again, that's an optional prerequisite. We're not only doing synthetic transactions, we are also capturing some of the core data of packet loss ratio, jitter and noise and all of it. And for that, we need the network assessment tool. So we go ahead and choose whether do I want to do it or not. I get an option to choose my default action account, the mom action account, or I can go ahead and delegate it to a separate account. Then watcher node setup, where I can go ahead and verify the prerequisites. In this case, the prerequisites will be set up. Of course, we can always go ahead and install those prerequisites. So here there is a small ask. It says mom action account. This one is not a local administrator. However, it also tells you a suggestion on what to do. Right. What I'm going to do is just to make sure that the prerequisites goes through successfully, I'm going to go ahead and use the right credentials. Then click on next. I'm going to clear and verify prerequisites. Again, this was the concept of the password. I hope I remember. Sorry guys, in case the password is not right, I'm going to go ahead and skip the step. Yeah, it works. So it goes ahead and installs and make sure that everything is fine. In case it doesn't go ahead, you can always go ahead and manually click on this, or rather click on this and it will go ahead and manually install those prerequisites. And then I'll go ahead and click on next. I can go ahead and change the endpoints. This is basically for GCC high tenants, where the endpoints are different. So once the endpoints are verified, by default for all the commercial tenants, the endpoints will be same. It will just be the one that are listed here. Now it went ahead and connected successfully, which is a good sign. And then I can go ahead and choose this Exchange mail flow that is on-prem. This I can do it only if my prerequisite, the first one, where the EWS needs to be installed, is checked. Unfortunately, in my case, it is not. Here, I'm going to monitor only the my M365 mailboxes, right? The performance of M365 mailbox. Once that is done, I can go ahead and choose which SharePoint, library I can use to go ahead and upload and download a document, and then which team I can use to go ahead and do the synthetic transaction with, which channel and which team. Again, right now we do not have the option of making a chat into the Teams channel, but we want to go ahead and bring that in the next update to this management pack. And of course, network credentials. One thing that we can go ahead and also verify is the location. So this is where we have gone ahead and introduced location tagging, where you can go ahead and change. For example, right now this is Agra, India. You can always go ahead and change it to Moscow based on where the actual location, this server, 106 server, is located. And you can choose which license pack to go ahead and monitor, which license queue to go ahead and monitor. For now, one watcher node can go ahead and monitor one license pack, but we'll go ahead and introduce, or rather we'll make it one-to-N mapping at a later point in time. So once that is done, you click on next and it goes ahead and brings up the summary. You can go ahead and click on finish and everything will be set up, right? I'm going to cancel out because my server is already up and running. The reason it is showing X is because it says this watcher node is unhealthy. It is critical state. We'll try to understand what is critical about it. First and foremost, in the interest of time, I'll just run through the H5 dashboards. As I mentioned, we have H5 new dashboards created for M365. We'll quickly take a look at the dashboards. As I mentioned, the geo view, this will help us in understanding quick view of how the servers, or how the machines are behaving, the watcher nodes are behaving. In my case, both the servers are located in India, somewhere in northern part of India. One is in Agra, as I mentioned, and the other one is in Delhi. The Delhi one looks good, as if you see on the top, on the bottom, the Delhi one looks good. However, the Agra one doesn't look good. The reason it doesn't look good is because the licenses is consumed, right? If you go ahead and take a look at the bottom half, if I choose the Agra one, right, it says consume 20 out of 20. That means all licenses are consumed, and hence the what do you say, the critical symbol next to it. Over here you can always see the exchange synthetic transactions, how they look like. The bottom half are empty in my case because we don't have the exchange on-prem setup. Then we have the network dashboard, where you see the ping round trip latency. Then we have SharePoint, where we have the ping SharePoint connection status as well as the upload and download status. Teams, as I mentioned, has certain data that we have. That is, let's choose the other server. We have round trip latency, jitter, packet loss ratio, packet reorder, and all of it. And of course, we also have the synthetic transactions for Teams. Right, and this can, as you know, H5 can be shared on a, probably portrayed on a big monitor, where it also can be shared to the executives. In the same time, we also have monitoring dashboards as well as monitoring views available for M365 Ops Console. Pretty same thing that we have here. We have hybrid mail flow. Then we have mail flow performance dashboard. I hope they come up soon. Yeah, and SharePoint performance dashboard. Again, on the left hand side, you will see a lot of dashboards that are there. We will be planning to release, rather, by the time SCOM is live, but the management pack would be out in its CTP customer technical preview form. Feel free to download it, and we'll share the link on the chat window for this as well. Again, this has been the M365 work that has come through. We look to improve the existing management pack. We want to go ahead and continuously invest and make sure that whatever we develop from product group is of high quality and is able to give what a customer needs, right? And having said that, let me go back and this is the latest management pack. These are some of the updates that we have from the SCOM product group, where we talked about the SCOM release timelines. We talked about the management pack updates and all of it. Thank you for sharing your time and space with us. We look forward to hearing your feedback, and of course, I appreciate SCOM creators, that is Squared Up and Cook Down. Really appreciate your invite and time with us. Looking forward to working with you folks more. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.